Yes, this is MJB. We are going to discuss about the types of CBC learning or CBC learning methods that would enable the learners to enjoy learning better as compared to the 844 system. CBC would make learning more enjoyable and interesting, even as learners get prepared uh, to the world and also to the job market as well as to job creativity or business opportunities. Remember, CBC is meant to solve the problem in the world. And as learners engage in CBC learning, they are exposed to problem solving skills, they are exposed to critical thinking skills, and many other issues that would enable them to solve the problems that are faced in the world, that is, in the contemporary world, that learners get exposed as early as possible to realize some of the problems and some of the challenges that they are likely to face and also sort out in the world. They are also exposed to understand that leadership starts from oneself. Learners understand that they should not wait for any other person to be responsible in anything that should be done at the right time and at the right place. And now we have methods of learning, and one of the methods that I would introduce this time is this method that we call inquiry-based learning, IBL. Inquiry-based learning, this is a type of learning that we refer to as an active learning method that is meant to encourage learners to ask questions. That is the first thing. Now, this type of learning is meant to encourage learners to ask questions, research, and explore new ideas. Remember, as they ask questions, they also research and they explore new ideas. They are able to explore. They are researchers. They are explorers. And they are inquisitive as they ask several questions. It also helps learners develop what we call critical thinking and problem solving skills. They are able to develop critical thinking and problem solving skills. They are exposed to the world problems, and when they engage in a classroom setup, when they solve those problems, it means that they are prepared to solve the world problems, beginning from their families, beginning from their peers, and even the entire world. So it means that if CBC is given a chance, if CBC is given priority, and if the stakeholders are engaged in this implementation fully, then it means that the kind of learners, the kind of workers that we shall have in future will be able to solve problems in the world. This type of learning that we call inquiry-based learning also engages learners by making real-world connections through exploration and high-level questioning. As these learners are engaged in classroom to the real-world connections, they are exposed to understand the real world, not only in the class, but they are able to understand the real world when they are exposed to the practical way of understanding the world. So they also develop that high-level questioning, and that will expose them to the highest understanding of what the world is and how to deal with the world and the worldly problems that we are facing day in, day out. We have some phases, or what we call phases of inquiry-based learning. This type of learning goes through some phases, and these phases include the following. The first phase is interaction phase. Interaction phase dive into engaging relevant and credible media forms to identify a need or opportunity for inquiry. This is a phase that we call interaction phase. As learners interact, they dive into engaging relevant, credible media forms to identify a need or opportunity for inquiry. It exposes them for what we call inquiry. They are able to inquire. There is also what we call the second phase, and this phase is referred to as clarification phase. In the clarification phase, this is where learners are exposed to summarizing and categorizing data and understanding with facilitator or expert support. There is that understanding with a facilitator or expert support. They need some clarification. After doing some inquiry, these learners then need some clarification from an expert or expertise or a facilitator. There is another phase, the third phase, that we refer to as questioning phase. Under the questioning phase, here the learners are exposed to asking relevant questions to drive continued self-directed inquiry. That self-directed inquiry is driven here. It is driven in this phase where the learners are exposed to self-directed inquiry, that they need a response from an expertise. They need a response from an expertise in this particular phase. So there is the fourth phase, which is the last phase, and this phase is called design phase. Under design phase, here the learners are exposed to what we call designing an accessible, relevant, curiosity-driven action or product to justify inquiry. There is that curiosity that is developed here. Curiosity. They want to know. Learners want to know more. They now want to know and also justify their inquiry. After inquiring from the previous phases, here they develop more curiosity. They want to know more. They want to inquire. And they want the answers or the responses to some of the questions that could be ringing in their minds. And this is the last phase of learning under the inquiry-based learning. We have other learning methods, including problem-based learning. But for now, let's understand the inquiry-based learning. Remember, it is the best method of learning that is engaged and employed in CBC learning, that is in curriculum that we call competency-based curriculum, CBC. Thank you for your time. May God bless you. Remember to subscribe. Thank you so much.